Mario Party Star Rush. It's the second of the three 3DS Mario Party games. All three of them are universally controversial. Some people love them, like me. Other people hate them. I haven't played the top 100. I haven't heard too many good things about it. But for what I know, Island Tour is awesome, Star Rush is awesome, and they're nearly equal in a lot of ways. I gotta admit though, I think this game might just have better boards. Now, the cool thing about this game's board is that you have five different sets of themes for each world and three different boards in each. It might make them a little generic, but it also means you have 15 boards, which is awesome. So, yeah. Star Wars is a fun game. I've made a ranking, well, not a ranking, of. I talked about some of the mini games before, but today I'm going to be talking about the boards. Credit goes to the Mario Wiki for the images. Again, I didn't exactly ask for any of them, but it's cool to have them, so thank you, Mario Wiki, and all the people who work on it. So number 15, we have World 0-1. It's a very simple board. It introduces the idea of Toad Scramble. You're playing as Toad, and you get different allies, although you don't get them in this board. You fight different bosses, get coins, get stars from the bosses, and the coins you get can add up to stars. It's fun. There's some rocks and some simple paths. It's a very simple one, but it works for a beginning board. Still, though, it's simple. Number 14 is World 0-2. It's a little more complex because it introduces allies. You also have, well, some more bosses, and there's some different layers. So it's a little more interesting, and it does a little better job introducing you to stuff in the game. It's fun though. I also like the whole fire flower design, I believe. Or maybe it's a cloud flower, I'm not sure. And next up, at number 13, we have World 0-3. It's easily the best of these grassy ones. There's three different layers. You have a bunch of bosses in this one. The third board of each world, I guess you would call them, is easily one of the best ones. Usually the best of each theme because it uses a lot of the ideas here. This one you have a lot of grass, which is good for allies like Mario who can get you things from them. And yeah, it's just a fun board because although it's simple in theme, it does introduce the idea of more bosses and allies, which is cool. And also, there's more flowers, which is nice. Number 12 is World 1-1. It's better than the grass ones because it's a beach theme, which is cool, but you have three different islands, and they're interconnected with bridges. It's pretty simple in design, but it works pretty well. It looks nice. And it's a little more complex too, so that's better. It's a good one. Next up, we have World 1-2, coming in at number 11. And this is a star island. Literally, it's shaped like a star. In the center, you have a sort of boardwalk, kind of. There's a lot more items, and it's easily one of the bigger of these simple boards. It's a fun one, and, well, it's shaped like a star. Like it says, yeah. It's a fun one, and just more interesting than the last one. Number 10 is World 2-1. In this one, is themed around the mansion world too. But the cool gimmick here is that you have spike platforms, which you can hit switches, and you can block off paths from other players. It's a pretty fun one, although this is my least favorite of the three from World 2. It's still not bad though, and introduces the cool idea. Oh, and there's also some allies you can get here, but there are Peepas that are disguising themselves, which is another gimmick of the world, which is cool. It looks cool. At number 9, we have World 1-3. I think it's a little better than the previous ones, and it's easily one of the hugest maps of the game. And they have playtime, who knows, for the third map, because it really does go long for a while. In this one, you have a boardwalk, several. You have these rising platforms, you have a bunch of palm trees. It's a big map, and I understand some people might not like it, but I think it works because, in case you don't know, the main gimmick of Star Rush's boards is that everyone moves at the same time. I personally think it's a really good idea, and it does work here, especially on boards like this. Next up, we have World 2-2. This one has more spikes, but what's the idea here? Well, this time, to be honest, it doesn't change much from 2-1, but that's okay, because it's just a bigger design, it's more interesting, And because some areas are completely cut off with just one spike, that makes it harder, thus more fun. It's cool. Next up is World 4-1. World 4 has some great boards, including this one. And this one has the cool idea of rising lava. It'll get higher and higher each time. Eventually it goes back down, but you don't want to be there when the lava rises on the lower platforms. It reminds me of a certain level from 3D World. It's a pretty fun one, and I like how you can get stuck on certain places, which might get more challenging. It's a cool idea, and it just works. Next up is World 2-3. Easily the best of these ones. I like the windows, the people designs, and the fact that it's just a big mansion. You have a bunch of different platforms, some spikes to avoid, a bunch of different levels. It just works. I know I've said that a few times, but it's cool. And there's also some grass at the bottom, so that adds some variety. Next up is World 4-2. There's some bullet bills you have to avoid here, and there's, well, precisely 2 different cannons. And if you're in the path in the middle, it takes you down to the end. You could also hide in the sidelines, and there's also some lava in the middle. It's a good idea, not the first time we see it, but it still works pretty well. I like it. Next up is World 3-2. This is a pretty fun one, and it introduces the idea of bullet bills, only these ones are gold, which you leave behind a trail of coins. This is cool because you can go on higher levels, and, well, it's cake themed, so that's pretty tasty. Also, I just want to apologize for the low qualityness of the images. Sorry about that. But it's cake, and it has a cool gimmick. Yeah. Next up is World 3-1. I think this is better than 3-2 because even though it doesn't have the bullet bills, it has this cool design of this several layered cake, which I think just works better than the last one. It's pretty big, and the different layers makes it a little hard to go around, but still fun. It's a great board. Next up we have World 3-3. Easily the hugest board in the game. You have what I can only imagine are 3 different balloon types designs. It is huge. The only problem is, yeah, well, it's so big that when certain players get to bosses and you have to go fight them, it takes a while to get there. And also, there's some things you might not even get to see, which applies to some of these bigger boards. That's kind of a problem, I guess, I have with some of these boards in Star Rush. But other than that, I think they work pretty well. And because you can get allies, which increases the distance you can travel, I think it's a pretty fun game. Also, I don't think I'll do a video on Balloon Bash, since there's only 3 boards. Yeah. Anyways, it's huge. It does go on for a little long, and other times you miss some stuff, but it's still cool. And my favorite board in Star Rush is World 4-3. It's the final one. It is huge, not as big as 3-3, but still pretty big. You have Rising Lava once again. You have these different blocked off platforms. Yeah. It's a little simple, and it doesn't really introduce anything unique of its own. It's just designed in a really well-structured way, and you have more of this lava in the different levels. Thank you for watching. Mario Party Star Rush is great. Have a good day.